Do you YouTube with intent? This is the first in a series of videos that we're going to be doing on how to be a better YouTuber. And it's something that comes up a lot, and I don't see too many people talk about this specific thing. And I'd like to make an introduction because there's a person sitting next to me that you probably haven't seen in too many of these videos other than as a model. This is my business partner and wife, Derica.
Hello.
And we wanted to do these because we've learned a lot as YouTubers along the way, and we feel like a lot of the skills that we had coming into YouTube helped us to be better YouTubers. So some of the topics that we want to talk about, like what is the intent of your channel?
Yes, and this is something that we focused on in starting a group of channels known as city studying.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a different subject matter than Brian and I's, obviously, but it started out as one concept. We had an intent.
Yeah, but why did we start it? We were wedding photographers, and we wanted a retirement plan. So we started up a YouTube channel called City Studying to teach people how to grow their own food and cook and things like that. And that was the intent, was to take every penny that we earned from it and put it away. Meaning we intended to make it a business, whether it was for retirement or not. Our intent was to make it a business. So we treated it as a business from day one.
And this is something that we highly suggest anybody who's getting into YouTube think about.
Mm-hmm.
And the two upfront categories of your intent for your channel is, do you intend it to be a business, or do you intend it to just be a means to share things with your friends and family?
In other words, professional or hobbyist. That's the most important choice you need to make. Because if you're just going to be a hobbyist, then really none of this matters. You're just doing it for fun. Get some views, make people happy, spread the word, whatever you can do, and it's all good. If you're looking to do it as a business, you have to take it a little bit more seriously, and you have to understand the numbers, the analytics, things like that. There's a lot more to it. However, in the end, the hobbyists will probably have more fun. I will just admit that right now, because there's a lot less to worry about. You just get to make videos and enjoy it, and
Sure.
you don't have to think about other things.
So in the aspect of a business model for a YouTube channel, the intent is similar to, in a small business, their business plan.
Right. Yeah, it kind of is that way. What is the actual purpose? Are you just using it as a means to market another business? Is it your entire business to be a channel that instructs people and you look for sponsorships, affiliate marketing, stuff like that? These are things that are important. And with us, we decided we're going to do instructional videos, okay? And that's the brand, is we make instructional videos. And with doing that, we decided that affiliate marketing was an important thing. So we're Amazon affiliates. And we also wanted to include sponsorships and things like that. And even now, just after 2.5 years, we're just now starting to get into sponsorships. We haven't really sought too many out because we wanted to be particular. We wanted the right sponsor, not just anybody that was willing to give us money or products, things that go along with our brand and would actually be helpful to our audience is what we were looking for. So have a little bit of integrity when you choose sponsors too.
So Brian did touch on a subject there about our personal intent is that we intend to be educational in our channels. But
Edutational.
But there are other different avenues that you can use as a YouTube creator that isn't necessarily education. You can do lifestyle, that's more the vlogging kind of aspect. You can do strictly entertainment through comedy, music, whatever, or more of the educational like we do.
But it's still important to know what your intent is for the channel, because the next step is knowing your audience. So if you know what you want your channel to do and what your voice really is, then it's easier to depict and basically predict what your audience should be. You want to think of who would watch my channel? Who is my ideal person to watch my channel? And you make content that appeals to that person. And this is where the difference between a professional and a hobbyist comes in. The professional has to worry about their audience because their audience is everything. Without an audience, you're dead in the water. Your channel's not going to go anywhere. But as a hobbyist, you can make videos on whatever you want to because it's for you, not an audience. And that's why it's such a strong distinction and why I said the hobbyist will have more fun, because you're not stuck stuck. You're not governed by an audience telling you what they want to see unless you want to be.
Now, YouTube has some helpful built-in analytics that help
Lots
you
of analytics.
narrow your field and really get to understand who your audience is. They can tell you, based on how they log in using their YouTube channel, what their gender is, where they live, what time zone they are, what languages they might speak. All this information is really important so that you will be able to cater to your audience through your videos.
Something I want to say on the gender, though, we've found this as a big deal. We get a lot of like families watching our channels. So it's like maybe it's dad's account and mom and the kids are watching too. So you take the gender with a little bit of a grain of salt, because it could be where one person in the house has an account and everybody uses that account. So it's not necessarily accurate. I do find that that's one analytic that it's hard for them to govern, because they don't know who's actually watching unless everybody in the house has their own account, which just seems kind of silly.
But this information, though it may seem trivial at the time, is actually
So
very
useful.
helpful, because if you are, say, releasing your videos in the time zone that you're at, but the majority of your viewers are in a completely different time zone, then you may want to adjust that to cater more to their needs.
Right.
Because as a professional YouTube creator, it's not about us, it's about the viewers.
Like, for instance, we have one channel that, because of niching, which we'll get to in a second, had to be split into two, or we felt it needed to be split into two, and I still feel we probably made the right choice. It's always a probably, maybe kind of thing. But we started out as just city steading, and that broke into two channels, the brewing side and the cooking and growing side eventually. And we found that they were already two different audiences. And then we broke the cooking and growing into a cooking channel and a growing channel. And now we're definitely seeing three distinct audiences coming through, that there is some overlap, but they're completely different audiences and they like different things. Because we tried similar styles and whatnot, and it didn't actually work. Like, for instance, the City Steading Mead and More, that channel is average age 25 to 55, about 75% male. The Bread and Beyond, which is my spin-off channel where I cook, is actually mostly males, ages 55 and up. So very, very different. And then Derica's channel, I don't know the stats offhand on your Garden and Grow.
It's still pretty young, so
It's very young, only about 800 subs so far, 700 to 800 subs. But I believe it's a pretty good split between male and female.
It's
And the
encroaching
age
more
group-
towards the male side.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Well, more men watch YouTube than women. And
But again,
I believe that's
back
the
to-
family thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't really know, because it seems like your comments are coming from females, not from males.
Yeah.
So anyway.
There is a subset of your audience that you want to keep a lookout for, and we've termed this the vocal minority. Now, this concept is so important and so critical to the growth of your channel that we're going to do an entire video just on that concept.
Yeah, the gist of it is, though, there's a bunch of people, a small bunch of people, relative to your entire audience, who will tell you things. And they don't always tell you what everyone else is feeling. They're the vocal minority. And it's one of those things, we are going to do a separate video on it, maybe right after this, that it's so important, but it's important to understand why they are important and how to respond and react to that.
Yeah.
Niching.
Niching. This
Or
became
niching, however you want to say it.
such
I
a
say niche.
It became such a huge deal for us, and we've heard about it for years, and we really didn't take too much, what is the term?
We didn't give it much credence.
That's what I was thinking.
There's a lot of ways to see it. And we looked at it as, okay, well, we're like the city steading niche, which means we're going to teach people how to cook, how to grow, raise chickens, how to make their own wine and mead. That's all one niche. Well, no, it's not. And it turns out that it's even more crazy than we think, because the algorithm doesn't actually understand the difference between, say, wine and mead.
And it's that word, the algorithm, that's critical here, because what you want to do is use the system of YouTube to make sure that your videos are reached by the people you want to see them.
Exactly.
So if you are this all-encompassing umbrella, then the math of the algorithm of YouTube isn't necessarily going to know what to do with you. And so you might have this group of people that really need to see your work, but YouTube won't know to share it with them because you're too broad of a topic.
A general way to see what the algorithm does is you put out a video and you give it keywords and a title, description, and things like that. And we're going to talk about those in separate videos. They're very important. Your thumbnail, your title, and description, ultimate critical. Keywords, not so much. They help YouTube on a younger channel that the channel hasn't established itself well yet, or a brand new video that YouTube might not know what to do with. It gives them a little bit of direction. What it'll do is it'll put it out to say, I'm just going to say X number of people, whatever that is. Usually it's your subscribers. So if you're a small channel without a lot of subscribers yet, it goes out to some people. If those people all click on it and watch the video to any extent, then it'll go out to people who are like those people according to the Google and YouTube algorithms, which that's where it starts to become a gray area. They don't give us this information. We don't know what they mean by like them. It could mean people who have watched similar enough videos to them. So if those people watch it, it keeps going. What'll end up happening is at some point it'll go to a point and people won't really watch it so much. They'll stop sending it to people like them. But if it keeps going to people like them, like these other people over here, then it continues on and the algorithm will keep going and keep promoting that product, that video to other people until it hits that dead end. But in doing that, it gathered all that information on who liked your video, not just the like thumbnail, who watched your video, how long they watched it, what other videos they have watched that are similar to yours. That all gets compiled, and now that's part of your video's thumbprint, if you will, on YouTube. And this is how the algorithm works. So next time you put out a video, if it's similar to that one, they already know what to do with it. If it's different than that one, now you're starting over again. Do that with too many topics, and pretty soon your channel is very scattered and it's fragmented, and the algorithm doesn't know who to send these videos to. Now, if your own audience doesn't watch that other video, it makes it all the much worse. And that's what was happening to us. We didn't realize we were a multi-niche channel. Not a way to go. Not something you really want to do. Unless you're a hobbyist, in which case, do anything you want. It doesn't matter.
Now, if you think about this particular channel as an example, we started off as a photography channel where we were sharing our experiences in professional photography. Now, rather than contracting even further, we're expanding, but we're not expanding so much as to become an all-inclusive thing, but we're expanding our photography into how to be a better YouTuber. Yeah. So photography is a huge part, particularly in thumbnails and stills for your videos, in being a creator for YouTube, but then so is concepts like intent and getting better audio and setting up your set, and all these things are now going to be covered under the Brianized umbrella.
Basically what she's saying is, from the minute either of us picked up a camera decades ago to this point, we've been building to making this exact video that you're watching right now.
Scary, huh?
Yeah. But that's what it takes to make a successful YouTube channel. There's so many facets to it, and that's why we want a series of videos on it, not just one.
So then we're going to go on to the intent of looking beyond yourself. And you've already done that because you're watching this video, which means you're looking beyond yourself to try to find ideas on how to be a better creator for YouTube. And we highly suggest that you look at other channels that provide information for creators to learn how to understand YouTube better, whether it be the algorithm, analytics, set design.
This is how we learned.
Yes.
Trial and error, and from some of these other people. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there that I have a lot of respect for. Some of them I've actually become friends with over the years, and it's a great thing because they're willing to share their knowledge and their experience with you, and they do it because they love seeing other people flourish in this medium. And there's a lot of room to grow on YouTube. The one very important fact that I would like to say before I give you this list is there's no such thing as competition on YouTube.
And we learned that from Nick Nimmin.
Yep.
He did this fantastic video, I'm going to put it in the link in the description below, that completely changed my mindset on how I viewed other channels on YouTube. And I strongly encourage that you watch it as well.
We were wedding photographers. So in our mind, you have to compete for that bride. It's a one-shot deal. She's going to get married once, probably, and you want that bride. Well, on YouTube, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
A person looking for information might watch 20, 30, 50 different videos before they make a decision on what to do or how to act. So you're not in competition with each other. You're a club trying to show your information to this person. If you're all banded together and you're all friendly to each other, it helps everyone. And that way you're giving out better information. People appreciate you all more, and they will subscribe to everybody and watch everybody's videos.
So besides looking at creators that help other creators, you want to look at other creators in your own niche. So that way you can see what topics they're covering,
And
perhaps what places they may have missed, that you can fill that void for the collective audience. And beyond your own niche, you want to look at everything out there. Find some channel that you're completely in love with, regardless of what topic matter it is, and then analyze that channel. What do they do that makes them so special?
Exactly.
And is there any aspect of that that you can incorporate in your channel to make you special? But I'm going to give you a little bit of warning on that. Don't copy someone.
yeah.
You
Be
still
yourself.
want to be true to yourself, because if you just try to clone an already established channel, it's going to look really fake and really forced.
And it won't work for very long, even if
Yeah.
it does work at all. Another thing, you sort of touched on it, is look at what other people are doing, even on a topic, and don't just do what they did. Don't just recreate that same thing. Say, what did they miss? What can I add to this? How can I improve that? What can I do that adds my mark to that topic? And then create your video. Once you realize that when you put yourself into your video and your uniqueness into your video, no one can copy that. And it makes you special and unique, and people want that. Your audience will want that. They want that uniqueness. Nobody wants to watch the exact same video by 20 different heads with 20 different mouths talking about the same 20 different things, saying the exact same thing in all 20 videos. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
The ones that'll stick out are the ones that, ooh, what you just said there, that resonates with me. That works. I like that. And that's what gets you inspired and excited and makes you go forth and make great videos.
In the photography business, we called that the aha moment.
Yeah.
And if you can create an aha moment for any of your viewers,
Yep.
then you made a successful video.
Some of the people that have made aha moments for us, I just want to give you a list. We have it written down, so if you see me looking down, that's why. Creators that specialize in information for creators, okay? Just specific to this kind of video, because the list would be far too long if I went it the other way. These are Nick Nimmin, Daniel Batal, who I am actually friends with both of those guys on Facebook, and they talk to me.
They're awesome
They're
people.
real people. Roberto Blake, he's another one, just awesome. Fantastic entrepreneurial spirit, involved in a lot of different things. Daryl Eves and Brian G. Johnson. Those guys have done such an amazing job with building their own niche, and they're all pretty much friendly with each other too. They all share information. They all give you usable things that you can go forth with, but they're also inspirational. And that's the key. It's not just do this and you'll succeed, because it doesn't actually work like that.
Yep.
It's more, here's a concept that you need to work on to figure out what works for you and go forth with that. That's the essence of being a creator on YouTube, I think.
So the one last point that I want to emphasize on your intent is intend to change.
Oh yeah. The second you say, this is how we're going to do it from here forward, is the second you just lost, because it's going to change the next day.
So the intent of your channel is going to change. The relationship and the demographic of your audience is going to change.
The style of your video, your production quality, all that's going to change.
Your niche is going to change. And that's
Go with
okay. You look at the information that you gather, reevaluate, improve, and grow, and go with it.
2.5 years into our first channel, we still constantly go back and say, okay, what did we do recently that worked really well? And what did we do that was kind of bad? And just adjust, change things out, go with it, move forward. Always think forward. Never look back and say, oh, we messed this up so bad. Don't think that way.
That's the past.
Just keep
It's
moving
gone.
forward. Do better next time. That is really the goal. Don't worry about your analytics versus another channel. Work to better your analytics. In other words, if you got 20 views on your latest video, pat yourself on the back and go for 25 on your next video.
If you have a strong competitive drive, remember on YouTube, the person you're competing against is yourself.
I remind myself of that all the time. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This is, like I said, the first in a series of videos on the new Brianized, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.